So let's just get right into it for fear that it will stop working. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 125 of the GGG Podcast. As always, I am Paul, and I am joined by Phil. As you can see, I am back in Los Angeles, and so I have a new background again, doing this on my partner's computer, but happy to be back in LA with you, Phil.
Yeah, welcome back. No, other podcasts are not going to do this. They're not going to change the background as regularly as Paul will.
Yes.
That's what he's doing for you, viewer, for
Yes.
you.
Oh my God, I need a work laptop really bad. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to the GGG Podcast's YouTube channel, please do so. Give us a like on this video as well. We'd appreciate it. And if you're listening to the audio-only version of the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else, follow us over there as well. All right. I have been dying to talk some video games. I'm glad we're here. Phil, It's the beginning of July. Excellent time. High on Life is coming out today. But before we talk about that, what have you been playing this last week?
Well, let me tell you, Paul, I have been playing Hades 2 for the most part. I've been playing a lot of Hades 2. A little bit of Battlefield 6 for some reason. That is just still in my blood.
Yeah, man, you've been going on that. All right.
It's, I figured out a key in the game is running behind stuff and then laying prone. Will just make people think that you died, and then they run up on you and you shoot them. And then a little bit of Marvel Rivals still loving my Cyclops boy, and some Mugenics on the side. But really, when I'm gaming and I'm trying to get through something, I'm like, oh yeah, Hades 2. That is my focus right now. It's my single player game. I know I'm kind of but between that, I've been doing Magic. There's been a lot of Marvel Magic stuff, so I've been really dug in on that. So my gaming time I'm trying to focus on something that is less just time passing and more this is the thing I want to do, and that is Hades 2. Just finished my first run where I kind of go and talk to or have a fight with the main bad. So excited to see what goes on from there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Continuing to make me jealous by playing Hades 2, and I have yet to do it, really. So we'll get to dip my toes back in, I should say. All right. Well, that's very cool.
What have you been playing?
Yeah, primarily it's been 007. So I picked it up when I got back in town, and just as a good couch game for me and my partner to watch this because it's so narrative focused and whatnot. And it's I like it. I like it quite a lot. It's not necessarily what I was expecting it to be, but I think it's good in that I think I really wanted it and expected it to be Uncharted, and I think in moments it feels like Uncharted, but it's way more Hitman than it is Uncharted by a mile.
Yeah,
I think
it's definitely Uncharted by way of Hitman.
Yes, yeah. It feels. I don't know, the combat in the moments where I'm like, oh, this feels like Uncharted. It's not quite as good as Uncharted as far as the smoothness of combat and the gunplay and picking up another gun and throwing that gun, and maybe that's part of me not having the controls perfectly down, because there's not really a lot of repeatable opportunity to practice a lot of these controls other than the fist fights and whatnot. So I was a little disappointed in that regard, but the amount of paths and ways that the game offers to complete a mission is really interesting. And that's the part that feels more like Hitman, and that's the part that feels a little bit more refined. Although I will say in my short attention span, having the mission loop essentially be, all right, you're in this big public area and there's some bad guys around, and now you got to figure out how to navigate this area. And it's not, I largely expected it to be a linear path, and that is not the case. It's all right, now that you got that, you got to go back to the security room. I'm like, great. Where's the security room? How do I get back there?
And the security room was what? Again?
Yes, where I need a directory. So and that's more of a deficiency for me as a player than it is really for the game. But I feel like there are some opportunities where like somebody can be in your ear and be like, hey, you need to get to this place just once in a while, just to say that, because going through like the menus of your objectives isn't helpful at all. They really do not offer any information. They don't give you a map of the building, which I was like, I feel like this is a missed opportunity with the watch. Like, give me a little blueprint of where I'm going or something like that. So not
the watch feels so essential, and it's also like feels very limited at times.
Yeah.
Especially the first few missions where it's like you could take 2 augments on your watch, and I'm like, no, let me do the whole thing. Just let me do the whole thing.
Just let me.
It's gonna make so much more fun.
Yeah. So, and maybe that's available when you do replay and whatnot. So, it's not an amazing game. I'm not blown away, but I am satisfied with the experience so far. I don't know how far into the game I am, but I feel like I've played enough of it to have a pretty good feel, and I know what to expect, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you haven't quite beat it, but you've almost beat the game, right, Phil?
It's tough. I don't know exactly where I am narratively. Probably about, actually I could tell you right now, and I feel like I've been playing at a decent clip, so this should be a good indicator. James Bond First Light, which is it's 007 First Light, so it's at the very top of my Steam list. I played 17.9 hours, and I feel like I'm probably in the last third of the game, just at the very beginning of the last third. So yeah, I'd say I'm nearing the end. But I have been pretty enjoying the pace and the way that it's moving and everything that I've been doing in the game. But I also haven't felt a lot of moments where they really pull or take the reins out of their hands and let you do stuff.
Yeah.
It all has felt pretty guided, which is, good for the story. A little bit bad for me when I want to just go nuts.
Yeah, I also, we had talked about it, and I know this is kind of asking for a lot, but I would have liked if there was some narrative choices you could have made in the game, and the fact that there's none is kind of for me. It's kind of like the thing of like, you want to maintain James. It's not an RPG. You want to maintain James Bond as a character, but just to be able to have some differentiating paths where James Bond would still, be James Bond, but give the player, hey, are we going to kill this guy or let this guy live? Or who are we going to save here? Or do I go after the low-life criminals or the big bad? I don't know. Something in that vein. But that's enough about 007 First Light. I'll probably talk a little bit more about it after I actually beat the game. Let's get into this week's major game releases. The big one, and there's not a lot, but the big one is High on Life 2. This is a game successor to High on Life 1, obviously. Oh, do you have some thoughts?
I also should have said, I'm pretty sure the High on Life 2 is just on Switch. It already released previously for other consoles. And now it's just releasing on Switch 2.
Thank you. So it is releasing on Switch 2. I was like, I did think that game came out before, and then we did talk about it. So thank you.
I played a bit on Xbox when that came out, and I was like, or on Xbox Game Pass, and I was like, wait a minute, and then it just hit me like, oh no, that game has been around, but it's coming to Switch. So if you want to play it on the go, now's your time, buddy.
Cool. Might be a fun Switch game, I guess. But yeah, I remember that the story was different. Like, you are a bounty hunter this time around instead of being a human during the invasion and whatnot. So, all right. Yeah. Well, Switch lovers, High on Life 2, it's available there for you. Hopefully it performs okay on that hardware. So I guess we will see. And then, how about our RV There Yet, Phil?
RV There Yet is a game that I will lovingly call Friend Slop. It is my favorite new genre of video game, Friend Slop. But it is a game where you and several other friends are trying to make your way across the wooded countryside in an RV. The RV is constantly falling apart, so you're trying to fix it. You like make stops along the way to go get supplies, but there's bears and snakes and all this stuff out there. There's also like hills which your RV can't make it up, so you have to like set up winches and like do remote stuff. It's really really fun. The aesthetic is really fun too because you play these dumpy little dudes. They all look like um, divorced dads with like tiny sunglasses and like egg-shaped bodies, and there is a dedicated smoke cigarettes button. So solid.
Right on. Well, yeah, interesting release. We're not getting a lot this summer, so we'll take that. That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, jumping into the news, Fortnite has seen a player population bounce back after last season being one of the lowest points in Fortnite since it has taken off so many years ago. Fortnite has gotten back 50% of their players. So that's fantastic.
Very good.
In fact, I was playing yesterday with my partner, and she noted that there was almost like 600,000 people online. And last season, we remember it being like 200,000 maybe-ish, which is for Fortnite are very low numbers. So yeah. So that's great. And this bounce back, largely people are suspecting is because this season we have sprites in the season. Phil, have you played this season of Fortnite? Do you know the sprite business?
No, I've just seen that the sprites are like these little guys that you can like little. They're Labubu's inside of Fortnite.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Each Labubu gives you a different passive ability. So like it could be the water sprite or one of the water ones. If you're standing in water or you're swimming, you get shields back while you're in water. Or there was like another one where if you emote, you get shields back, or you do a little extra damage, or you get a little extra health. It's some sort of passive, increases your loot percentage rate.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. And there are tons of sprites in the game to collect, and it has kind of an Arc Raiders feel to it, where if you bring a sprite into a match and you die, you lose that sprite.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so there are extraction zones throughout the game, throughout the map, and you have to get to the extraction zone and you have to drop off your sprite and you can have them retrieved. And then in the Fortnite menu, there's its own tab just for the sprites, and then there's a bunch that you can collect and whatnot. And I think this is just classic, gotta catch them all, gotta collect them all business.
Yeah.
Labubu, like you said. And it's really working. It's really working to get people back on Fortnite. So
good. I think the thing that is cool that they're doing is that it is an actual gameplay change. Like it affects how you play the game versus just a visual addendum or a little bit that they're adding on. So pretty cool to see Fortnite. I mean, they've always messed with what the game is, what the map is, all this stuff. But it is cool to see that there is some things that you can like collect and go into a match with that will actually affect how the game works. So exciting.
Yeah. I've been having some marginal fun with it. We will see. I don't know. I think I might have liked last season better, surprisingly. All right, moving right along. The Blade game and the company that is making the Blade game could be canceled, and the studio could shut down, says Microsoft. This is not confirmed, but it is looking more and more likely. We've been hearing rumors about this for several months now and have seen absolutely nothing about Blade. When's the last time you heard anything about this Blade game, Phil?
When that trailer dropped?
So when it was announced. When it was announced.
Yeah, when it was announced.
And we never saw another thing. That is crazy.
Is it wild that I figured this game wasn't coming out? Like, I remember seeing the trailer and being like, that looks awesome. Too bad we'll never get to actually play it.
Yeah, it seems unfortunate, but like, how many years ago was that now? 3 or 4 years it was announced.
No way. No way it was that long.
You look it up. I'm going to keep reading here. So Microsoft is considering closing 5 different studios in a new wave of layoffs that we're most likely going to be reporting on when that happens. But the developer of the Blade game is Arcane, and the Arcane is one of the 5 studios that Microsoft is going to shut down. Originally, this Blade game was set to launch this year and has been delayed to next year for being over budget, and now we probably just won't get it at all. All right, when was that announced, Phil?
So it was announced in December of 2023, I'm guessing at the Game Awards.
Sure.
That's where we saw that trailer. It is crazy. I had to actually look at my calendar and see that we are in fact in 2026 because oh no. Oh no, that's bad. Yeah, for Microsoft to sort of bail on this, like I understand that their last vampire game with Arcane did not do well. It sucks, but Blade is like I think people underestimate the popularity of Blade because he's not like in the MCU, blah, blah, blah. But Blade, I think, is a pretty popular character for not your typical like Marvel Comics people. People who like a little bit of magic or vampirism or the darker side of stuff. And this game would have been such a knockout if you just took Dishonored and just like put a couple of vampire specifics on there and then boom, new game.
Yeah.
We're fine. But
yeah. That really sucks.
Can have good things.
I mean, I will say it would have been a lot to have a Wolverine and a Blade game come out the same year. But
well, I think Blade was due for 2028 is what they were initially saying was going to be the...
No, so initially it was supposed to come out this year, and it's only been officially delayed until next year. But if we were to see it, it seems like it would be 2028. But they are over budget. That's why they're considering closing. So, and the game is not done. This report also included more information on the job cuts coming to Xbox, saying that they will begin on July 6th and hit most parts of Xbox. Unconfirmed reporting from sources says layoffs could be as many as 1,000. If the 5 studios are shuttered, that would amount to at least 500 employees, The Verge said.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's difficult. That's a tough one.
Yes, it is. Well, we'll see if that happens. That's next week. That is supposedly scheduled for. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open for that. All right, moving right along. After plotting buyouts of EA and Activision, Comcast might try to push into gaming. For those who are unaware, NBC Universal and Comcast are splitting up, and the CEO of Comcast has always been very interested in getting into gaming, and with several companies kind of getting out of it and leaving open market space. We've talked about this for the last couple of years. Ubisoft and EA, aside from keeping Phil entertained in Battlefield, have kind of like checked out of making video games. And I don't really see them pushing hard down on the gas and cranking them out again. So this could be an opportunity.
Come on.
Yeah, this could be an opportunity for Comcast to get in the middle of this, but I think big business, getting into video games just doesn't sound appealing for me as a gamer. I'd much rather see an indie company get some success and become a big company rather than a big company from another industry is coming in and they're going to give this a go. We've been down this path. We saw with Amazon. Amazon tried to get into gaming. It never really worked out. Their big MMO is being shut down this year. And then they had several like MOBA, like team character shooter type things that didn't work out. I don't know. We need somebody else in the market. I don't think it's Comcast.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think like you said, it's good to have more people in the market. I tend to think that, but when big companies decide to stick their nose into gaming, I think that they tend to think that all gaming is the same, that it's the same as mobile company games that are putting a ton of money, that it's the same of free-to-play games that are they think they're going to be Fortnite. They think they're going to be Puzzle Quests, or I don't know the game. Castle Crashers. No,
Castle Crush.
that's Castle Crashers was the good one that isn't a thing anymore. But yeah.
Sure.
They think that they think that it's going to be easy and it's going to show profit very quickly. I feel like, and then that leads to things like Microsoft, where all of a sudden the studios are getting basically evacuated of their workers because it just wasn't financially viable within the several years they gave it, and not understanding that gaming takes years to build up fan bases, years to build up IP, and it has to be more of a passion. The weird bright side of this, though, is I do feel like the thing that you want, like more indies getting opportunities to make games and getting opportunities to make money, it is now easier than ever, as we can see by just the amount of games on Steam. There's so many things out there. So,
yeah. I mean, something that I think we should consider is that when a company now says, "Oh, we're going to get into gaming," that to them that can be like, "Oh, we're going to buy a bunch of AI companies and make AI video games." NBC Universal has an existing partnership with the generative AI startup Wolf Games, which released its first AI game, Law and Order: Clue Hunter, earlier this year. So if NBC Universal is doing that, Comcast is going to be a competitor of theirs. They're probably thinking in the same realm, and they're probably thinking AI. I'm not overly concerned here. I think they're going to spend a lot of money doing nothing. But yeah.
fingers crossed.
Indies, please. Some good news on the home from Subnautica has won its lawsuit. That is, the devs of Subnautica has won their lawsuit, and they are going to be getting a bigger payout than was originally promised in the contract, even with I believe it was the previous owner delaying the game or something like that, so they wouldn't meet this requirement. So the lawsuit got up to $250 million for the entire team. So that is awesome. Good for them. And glad that their game is finally released and seems to be doing pretty well. Still feels a little early access, but yeah, it's good to get some good news with all these talks of AI and layoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great model for what the games industry can be, because Subnautica 2, though it is in early access and it still feels like, okay, yeah, there's more to do, more to go, more to see. It launched as a pretty substantial product, or a pretty substantial chunk of what the game is going to be. And the developers should be rewarded appropriately for that. I don't know how big their team is, but 250K seems like... Sorry, 250 million? 250 million.
Yeah.
Spread out through however many people that is. Seems like it is going to be, if not a life-changing amount of money, an amount of money that allows them to continue to make great games for the rest of us. So, happy to see that. And hopefully that is something going forward that other game devs can look at and be like, yeah, let's make the people who make our games that people like money so they can stay with us,
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely. So great for them. And hopefully their game continues to sell, although I don't know if they've received their full payout already. So it may not matter. Okay. It does matter. Buy the game. It's a good game. For fans of Warhammer, if you've ever heard of Bloodbowl, the video game, it is a tactics football-like Warhammer game. Yes, I heard the sentence that just came out of my mouth. Bloodbowl 3 came out a while ago now, but apparently there was a new Bloodbowl in development, being created by Nacon, Nacon, and unfortunately they filed for insolvency back in February. So this kind of left the Blood Bowl license and a couple of other Warhammer things kind of out on the table, and probably never to be finished. However, publisher Slytherin has obtained the license, publishing rights, and a back catalog of Warhammer and other products from Nacon. So that's awesome. And they have successfully confirmed that they are going to continue work on the next Blood Bowl game. So people, fans of Warhammer, fans of Blood Bowl, fans of tactic football games. Big win for you, I
Yeah.
guess. I think Phil and I are going to be busy with our Star Wars tactics game when that comes out.
Oh yeah. That's in August. Sorry, Blood Bowl, but you don't have lightsabers. You probably could put them in there, but you chose not to, so that's on you.
I mean, I'm sure there's mods. It's a Warhammer game. There's always freaking
That's
mods.
true, yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much covers it for the regular news. For the main topic this week, we're gonna be talking some more disappointments, Phil. A lot of bad news this week. But
It is and it isn't to me.
yeah. Well, Microsoft and Sony are moving to end games on discs. Sony has confirmed that after January 2028, discs for PlayStation games will no longer be in production, and Microsoft is looking to do the same. However, they at the very least announced a physical to digital collection or program where you could turn in your physical games and get them activated on your account digitally. We don't really know the details of that full system yet, but it does sound like both companies are on the same page. Phil, how do you feel about no more discs?
Here's the thing, Paul.
Yeah.
Discs are dumb now. Discs don't do anything now. Your game's not on the disc. Your game is a code that the disc is just like, okay, hey internet, can I play this game? Yeah, you can download it now. The disc is just a key. The disc is just a key. We don't know anything anyway. Unless we get games that could fit on discs, great. That's not really a thing anymore. No one's printing games to the discs.
I mean, there was a report this week, not a disc technically, but the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered coming to Switch 2. The full game is in the cartridge.
That's great. Good. And Nintendo's different. Nintendo is different. They make these stupid little things that you gotta buy, but they got the game on there most of the times.
Yeah.
Or at least more of the times. I just think like I get why physical media is important. I think for DVDs, Blu-rays, that makes sense because you kind of need like it exists in the thing.
Yeah.
But for games, the file sizes are so big, especially in some of these big games, that I just don't see the value in it. And I think the production cost and the plastic waste. I feel like I'm on the a kind of villainous side of history here of being just like, forget them. But I also decided to get the Sony PlayStation 5 like discless edition. I play a lot of my games on PC, so I was an early adopter of like digital media. Me up, daddy. So that's the pro side. Give me the negative side, Paul, because I feel like you have a pretty good take as to why this is crappy a thing to do.
I think I have a nuanced take. I think my take is, look, I also mourn for physical media. I do care. Like, I bought a PlayStation 5 disc version, but to be honest, I didn't buy the disc version because I was like, I'm gonna buy all of my PS5 games, hard copy. It was because I was like, I have a Blu-ray collection and I want to be able to play those Blu-rays on my TV. That was really more of the incentive for getting the disc version. I think that people judging this harshly, and then they use Steam all the time. Like, look at most computers nowadays. They don't have a disc drive in a computer. If you buy a laptop, you can't put a CD or a DVD or a Blu-ray in it. That's just not how it works. And so I think when people, and I'll speak for myself as well in this, I think when people, what they're really upset about is they're upset about the idea that we don't own anything, and if a company wants, they can take it away. And we are not confident that there's any legal language protecting consumers when it comes to buying these things. And I
Yeah.
think that so far companies have, they've met the requirement, like with Concord that Sony pulled. And they just decided it wasn't going to be a game anymore. The one thing they did is they did not make it any complicated process. They just automatically refunded you if you bought the game. They're like full price, you get everything back. And I didn't like that, but at least they did it. But legally, I don't know that they were required to do that. I just think that they did that to avoid a big scandal or a big problem. And so I think what we need legislation, both, in America, in the European Union, across the world, of like, if you are only giving us a key to your game and there is something that happens where your servers are not going to be available, if there are features in your game that are online, then you need to give us private online, like we could make a custom match with our friends, or you need to
enumerate us,
or you need to, we need to be able to download a copy of the game, and not that have it be expected, but it's just like, hey, this game is not going to be on the store anymore, or we're taking it off of the store, or whatever. If you want this game, you can download a copy of it, you can put it on your computer and save it, or you can put it on your PlayStation or whatever. So there just needs to be optionality, and we're looking at consumer protections, because you're absolutely right, Phil. There's no game that you buy that's completely on the disc. With consoles, we're not putting in DVDs to install computer games anymore. We're not doing it. So it's all digital. What people are really complaining about is consumer protections, that it's kind of like, what we found out in politics over these last 10 years. It's like, are there really rules, or are there guidelines? And people just follow the guidelines most of the time, until a company comes along and is like, actually, legally, we don't really have to do anything, so we're going to screw people over.
So actually, come stop me. That's the precedent that I'm seeking here.
Interesting
I do
choice
think
of word.
that, no, that is the not to get I think even more political about it, but it also depends under which governmental body this is being sought after, because I think not that America's ever been particularly great about it. I know in the European Union there was an issue with the Switch 2, that having a proprietary battery made it a lot harder to deal with, and so Nintendo is working on Switch 2, or they released it over there. I don't remember the full specifics, but they are legally having to make another version of it with a battery that is replaceable, relatively easily. So I think that so long as there is a governmental body willing to stand up to this, I think the same thing happened with loot boxes, that got disallowed in the European Union, and then a lot of the games industry was like, okay, well, we don't want to have to make a European version and an American version of the game, so let's just do this.
Right.
Just based on current day America and the sort of proliferation of gambling, I feel like as consumers we're in the most danger now. So from that aspect, I am worried about the all digital future. But it is tough, because I'm happy that there's less plastic. I'm happy there's less waste. And hopefully this saves a bit of cost on game production, the physical running up the things to print this or that, and to put the key onto a disc, that I would say get passed along to us. I would hope that they would get passed along to us, but I know they obviously will not get passed along to us. Game prices will just continue to slowly raise.
I don't see that being a factor. I for a long time, when they really introduced buying games digitally, in the PS4 era is really when it took over. It was just like, well, if I'm buying this digitally, shouldn't I be getting some money off? Because I'm not paying for a disc. I'm not. If I go to Target and I buy a PlayStation game, Target's getting $27 of that PlayStation game, and if I'm buying it on your store, you're getting all of it. I'm not getting a discount. And so they've never done that. and that has been an unspoken rule with all of the companies that we're going to keep the game price the way it is, and uniform. So this is going to continue to get worse. Prices are going to continue to go up. And I think it's very important that, we have other indie developers and whatnot, like on Steam and everything like that. But yeah, I think what Grand Theft Auto did is it gave Microsoft and Sony permission to announce this.
That is the definite like ripple that we're feeling, right? Is that they now feel like they can. I mean, people are gonna be so excited about Grand Theft Auto, they're gonna pay extra, and I think they're willing to be like, however I can get that game onto my console, however you do it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, listen, I wish that this was the type of thing where they were like, if you're not gonna get it physical, it's $10 off. But if you buy a PlayStation, honestly, I could see this happening. Buying like a discless PlayStation, them going back to producing those with the game or something. But also they know that people are just going to buy Grand Theft Auto anyway, so they will get the there's no need to bundle it in. I don't know. I think overall it is. I'm finding the silver linings in it, but it's definitely not a great sign for the industry.
It's just the official transition. It's like this is the end of it. This really started with Steam and computers, and now consoles are finally going that way. And basically that confirms also that the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox, if there is a next Xbox, those consoles, they're not going to have disk drives. So
I think bright side is Steam is still doing Steam, and they are still discounting things like crazy. Like, that is one of the reasons I love PC gaming is, and I guess this is specifically to PC gaming, but you can go find cheap CD codes from companies that sent a bunch to this or that. You can find different ways to get some, I'd say the majority of games cheaper. The console space is a little bit more locked, but hopefully someone figures something out.
We'll see. Maybe the gaming black market will come back around. So
people just playing Game Boy Colors again, but it's modded out, so it's playing Grand Theft Auto 6.
Exactly. So that would be something. All right. Well, we are going to wrap it up there for this week's episode of the GGG Podcast, episode 125. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe to the Golden Glaze Gaming YouTube channel, where you can find all of our episodes. And if you're listening to the audio-only version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or somewhere else, follow us over there and give us a rating. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Anything else this summer that you're looking forward to coming out? I mean, I feel like Wolverine's really the next thing. Well, we were talking Star Wars, the Star Wars Tactics game.
Well, next week is Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
right?
Resynced, which I'm very excited about.
Your day one purchase?
Day one purchase for me, because I've been itching for a pirate game, and I haven't played that Windrose game because I'm like, no, all my pirate juju is going into Black Flag Resynced. Avatar Legends Fighters seems really, really cool. And that's like a $30 game that comes out the end of this month. I think we, like the blockbusters, like you're saying, we're kind of slow for the summer.
Yeah.
But, who knows? We could get surprised by something. But those are my two for right now.
Yeah, those are fantastic. I'm still like, it's just, I want Galactic Racer so bad, but that's in October, and that's too far away to be excited about it.
It's basically October now. They should just release it.
Yeah, I agree. Or do a beta, do a multiplayer beta, guys. Let's go, please. Please.
Okay, another great thing about Steam Next Fest. We just got to play a bunch of games.
Woo!
Put it on there.
Yeah. Steam sales still going on as well, for anybody who is interested in that.
Okay. Well, this is one last thing I want to talk about.
Yes.
Steam sale kind of sucks now.
Why?
they don't. It's not like updating daily with new stuff. It's just like
It's
these
just-
games are on sale.
Yep. These are the games. There's no. They used to be like a lot more active. And you check in every day, and they rotate things. And this is on super sale, but it was only on regular sale before. Yeah. It doesn't have the gravitas. It's because everybody figured out the sales thing, where you just gotta have a sale going every time of the year, any time of the year. So
True.
yeah. Sadness. All right, we're dipping out there. We'll see you guys next week. Happy July. Keep gaming on. Peace.
We did it.
We did it.